Good afternoon, folks, and to the rest of the Dota 2 community watching this Southeast Asian qualifiers or regional qualifiers for the International 2018 competition. And I am Sensei, your caster and analyst for this matchup between TNC Tigers and Entity Gaming. This is brought to you by Ncgc Esports, and we are broadcasting live here in the heart of Mindanao, Davao City, Philippines. And here we are on the third game, a decision game between TNC Tigers and Entity Gaming. We have just seen a very commanding game by TNC Tigers on the second game as they finished off Entity Gaming with a quick push up the middle lane and top lane of the Dire side on the 25th minute, if I'm not mistaken. It's the 25th minute mark. They just called GG and TNC Tigers just won. So right now, it's going to be Omni Knight, Sand King, and Troll Warlord for TNC Tigers. As for Entity Gaming is Beastmaster, Undying, and we're still waiting for the third hero. So a while ago, during the first game, as a small recap for those who have just tuned in, the problem with TNC Tigers as they lost the first game was two things. They concentrated too much on one hero being shut down, that is Dragon Knight for Entity Gaming, but they neglected Medusa, and their heroes were not suited for a long game setup. Practically, they just had it coming to them as Entity Gaming was able to extend to the late game, as Medusa was able to provide cover during clashes in the middle game for Dragon Knight to redeem himself and just buff up and finish TNC Tigers for the late game. However, during the TNC Tigers Entity Gaming second match, it was the Tigers' time and turn to show their fangs and bite hard and deep into Entity Gaming's psyche, as TNC Tigers just chose heroes for the quick game, early and middle game, and they had to dominate Entity Gaming quickly during the first 15 minutes, and they were able to do so effectively, shutting down Entity Gaming's 4 heroes while just neglecting Spectre. But nevertheless, those 4 heroes, aside from Spectre, were just properly managed well with hunts and good placements by Tusk as well as Oracle for TNC Tigers. Excuse me. And right now we are on the decision match. Keeper of the Light will be called in for TNC Tigers as well as Rubik for Entity Gaming. Now, whoever wins this matchup between TNC Tigers and Entity Gaming will proceed to match up with TNC Pro. TNC Pro or TNC Predator, Predator team is just waiting on the losers bracket, and they will be matching off with whoever wins this match. And by then, after this, it would be a straight match between TNC Pro versus whoever wins this. So for those of you who have just signed in, tuned in, and watching this Ncgc Esports telecast, we would like to have you with us. Continue watching with us as we continue for the matchup after this matchup. Or that's a lot of matchups. So anyway, Death Prophet is called in for Entity Gaming. Practically right now, Entity Gaming is still wanting to go for that middle to late game setup, and they will have to do much better this time around if they don't want to be dominated and shut down or shut out during the early and mid game. TNC Tigers right now just has their heroes set up for early to mid game, and well, except for Troll Warlord, but then we'll just have to see if Troll Warlord will have what it takes to just stop the whole match or the whole matchup right this time on the mid game. As soon as this happens, yeah, they might grab this position so that they would face off with TNC Pro. As for Entity Gaming, we have Death Prophet and Undying. Those are practically late game heroes in my opinion. Rubik will be providing the much needed utility and flexibility of Entity Gaming just to get whatever he could place about on the TNC Tigers. And Beastmaster will just be providing the assist or the secondary tank as well as damage output. So for the bans here in TNC Tigers, we have Void, Slark, Luna, Tusk, Mirana, and Shadow Shaman. As for the Entity Gaming, we have Lycan, Ayo, Chen, Silencer, Magnus, and Lina. We're just waiting for the 5th hero here, and we'll see how it goes.
5 seconds remaining.
So for those of you just signed in again, we would want to have your comments, suggestions, shout outs, and of course we would welcome criticisms how we could make this delivery much more enjoyable for you guys. We are here to serve you guys, and we would be happy, more than happy, to take in constructive criticisms as well as how we could make this much more enjoyable for you so that we could provide a much more quality level of broadcasting here. Again, this will be in English and just the way it is. So for the 5th man, it's Anti-Mage. It's practically the late game that they're banking this time. And we'll see if TNC Tigers will have their recipe of disaster. Early to mid game, they're able to just stop Entity Gaming from beefing up with their items. And we're seeing item intensive and long clashes here for Entity Gaming. They are expecting Rubik, Beastmaster, and Undying to provide cover for the Death Prophet and Anti-Mage for the mid to late game. And of course, Death Prophet will be providing for that push. And we'll see if TNC Tigers can stop that push as well. And now for the first time, we are seeing Meepo here. And it's gonna be an interesting match. It's Omni Knight, Sand King, Troll Warlord, Keeper of the Light, Meepo for TNC Tigers, and Beastmaster, Undying, Rubik, Death Prophet, and Anti-Mage for Entity Gaming. Right now, for the early to mid game, I would say before 20 minutes, they should dominate this Entity Gaming. If not, especially if Anti-Mage will be left out as well as Death Prophet, it would be very difficult for them. It will be in 4-5-8's hands as Meepo to stop the onslaught, and well-placed setups starting from Sand King and prolonging of Clash by Omni Knight. So it's anyone's ball game. Whoever gets the shutdown first will have itself face a lot of challenges for this matchup. Again, this is the 3rd match of this qualifying rounds for the Southeast Asian region. TNC Tigers versus Entity Gaming, a best of 3. We are on our decision match, the 3rd game, and we will see who will proceed to have a face-off with TNC Pro, as the TNC Pro team is just waiting around the corner to welcome whoever wins this one. Again, this is Sensei. Please hold your horses, and we're about to enter the game, and here we go. So for shoutouts again, just head on to our Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/NCGC Esports. And for a Facebook page, it's fb.com/NCGC Esports.
Prepare for battle.
Also, for those of you who just want to comment and predict, as what I was doing a while ago, place your comments in the comment section in FB or Twitch. Who do you think will win? What time most probably the game will end? Or in what minute? And also predict who would be having the first blood in this specific match. Okay, again, comment who would be the first blood, who would win, and at what time this game would be called a GG. And let's see your predicting skills and how much of a betlord you really are. So here we have it. Both teams right now are just being just being cautious this time. Nobody's trying to gank anyone else, and it was a different thing a while ago. During the 2nd game, it was TNC Pro just being so aggressive all throughout, not losing tempo and momentum, and they just bulldozed over Entity Gaming. Entity Gaming didn't have a chance to recover and regain from that, and they called it GG on the 25-minute mark. But lo and behold, Gandalf is so aggressive. Sand came with a bar strike as well. And there goes the harassment. But then Undying, just being old Davy Jones himself, pushing back the others. being tough, but then there's a 3-man gang up there. There's a stun. Undying will have to refuse to die, but then he's about to die. And who would it be? The first kill would be for In Your Dream. And there you go. Troll Warlord trolling Undying, and Undying just dying. And it's the first kill in the match. And we'll see much more of that in the later part of this game. So Gandalf there just putting up the bait, and he debated Undying well into that face-off. And there's gonna be a bloodbath here. It's a 3-1-1 setup on the top lane in favor of both teams right now. They just have to support Anti-Mage not being able to be shut out as they provide a 2-man reinforcement for him. So we'll be expecting much of the deaths and kills here on the top lane as most of them are here. So Sand King for the stun, and Rubik just backs out. Sand King jukes Rubik. Rubik goes back into the woods. Undying goes into the woods. Anti-Mage is just left out of the equation. There's another stun. Undying just being tough in itself. But however, Sand King is about to go down. The Scorpion goes out. Goes Undying. Okay, so that's perfect revenge. Sand King just died in the hands of Undying. And now Undying just harassing Troll Warlord. He wants the perfect revenge, but Troll Warlord just says, no, not yet. I'm still alive. I'm going to leave you. And there you go. Gandalf just in the woods. Or yeah, Kotal. Yeah, it's whatever. So, Keeper of the Light just providing a pathway for Troll Warlord as well as Sand King here. And we're expecting to see much more action right now as Troll Warlord just threw access, but then he's being attacked. Kotal for the support, and Troll Warlord is barely alive, but then he gets down on the ground thanks to Undying. There goes Undying with his DK, and practically so did Troll Warlord. He just died on the spot. So good placement by Undying here. Meepo here is left for himself as there's a two hero setup here. Zephyr and K just hoping to have a shutdown on Ping Vin check, but then there's a stun, and then there's a heal, and she's about to teleport out, and she does that with a few life left, but not without Meepo getting ganked by Rotten and Noya on the middle lane. And we're seeing a rotation of heroes here, a good rotation of heroes, and a roam by Sand King here. And right now it's Anti-Mage fending for himself by himself, hoping he would be able to farm up much, but to no avail with that Kotal and that damage. We're expecting a denial of service. So again, for those of you who have just tuned in, all you guys here watching Ncgc Esports telecast live, we welcome you. I am Sensei, your caster and analyst. Also, those who have just cut classes just to watch this, hey, don't do that as much. But then, if you're already there, whatever floats your boat, just do the right thing anyway. So, here we are with a clash. But then, yeah, it's a face-off, and they're backing off. Keeper of the Light just denying Anti-Mage with all those Illuminate. And there you go. Another denial of service, and Troll Warlord will just harvest the souls of those creeps. And of course those gold. So right now Meepo is still in the lead, but then there's a death from Sand King, and Noya just delivers the final blow. Again, Noya, Rubik just spamming the heck out of Sand King, as well as Omni Knight, but yeah, he has heal and he's not really ready about to die unless he's stunned by someone else. But right now, Omni Knight will not be going down as easily. Here, Undying is finally caught, and Troll Warlord just trolling the heck out of him. He is the Undying, and he will not be dying. But then there's a stun, and he will be. Finally, Undying, dying again. Such a contradiction, if I may say so. So Anti-Mage has been ganked up, and there's a stun, and he blinks out just in time, barely surviving that attack. And Beastmaster here, or rather Meepo here rather, is escaping now. We have just witnessed a kill on Meepo. The one left here was just ganked by Meepo as well as Beastmaster. And we're not about to see much more action here unless it's in the top lane, wherein the Illuminate will be used as a spam. And here's Sand King ready for the setup, and we're expecting a gank, but then Rubik here is on the loose and roaming and will be disrupting any setup here. Kotl will be called out, and Keeper of the Light will be targeted. And there you go, and 1, 2, 3, he's down. 4-man team combo and bringing Kotl down.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So it's a good thing that the rotation here is doing in the favor of Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage still not outside of the top 5 spots or top 4 spots or half of the net worth here. He really has to amp it up if he wishes to have a late game enjoyment here. Otherwise, he'll just be a 5th man, just a mega creep at that. And Meepo here continuing to give the middle tower a hard time. Sand King caught Rubik. Rubik is spammed with damage, and the Illuminate just banging and help. And Undying here is caught with Beastmaster, but then there's a 3-on-2 attack here. There's a stun and goes down Undying, and also Meepo. And finally, Beastmaster being able to dish out another one on Kotl before being stunned by Zephyr. And there you go. Finally, someone just brought the Beastmaster down. So right now, it's an 8-to-4 death ratio here in favor of Entity Gaming. And instead of being able to do this, Entity Gaming is able to withstand the onslaught, early onslaught of TNC Tigers. And they should be able to continue this up, and they might see a late game matchup wherein they might most probably shine. Right now, TNC Pro has lost its momentum. A good early game a while ago, just killing here in the top lane, but then practically it was reversed. And here's a burn strike and the heal, and Death Prophet will have to contend herself with an escape rather than a death. Sand King just showing excellent prowess on roaming and setting up for those kills for TNC Pro, TNC Gaming, TNC Tigers. But then during clashes, Entity Gaming is much more quick at their feet in providing reinforcements for their teammates. And here we see hero rotation. Kotl being in the center, pushing back creep waves after creep waves. And we'll be seeing a flank here, a 2-on-1 potential attack. However, if it would be much more so. Undying here, just called out by Troll Warlord. Sand King ready for the setup, but then Undying just backing off into the woods with Omni Knight not being able to hold as much. So it's a 3-to-2 advantage push on the top lane by TNC Tigers, and they'll be moving about. However, here we have Rubik being caught by Kotl, but then Kotl got caught in effect, and Meepo being at a danger right now just backs off with a potential 2-on-1 gank there. Kotl just not able to do much about it, and Omni Knight's dust has been called out. Rubik with a skill steal, and there's Troll Warlord being attacked by Beastmaster. Beastmaster giving the chase. Troll Warlord using heal, and Sand King just providing cover for the escape. Right now it's a 9-to-4 advantage for Entity Gaming. Entity Gaming being better during clashes, and we're seeing not the expected outcome as what we have just stated a while ago. TNC Tigers should be dominating this early to mid game, otherwise it would be the end of them. And there's a stun. Beastmaster just runs away with a heal, and
Radiant's
they will be
middle
backing
tower
off for
is
now.
under attack.
So there's a signal. Okay, just found Black. Black will be healed, and Black will be contented with going back for that. On the mid lane, right above the river, there's a potential clash with Rubik having double damage there, but then not much to that avail. Beastmaster enforcing the shrine and giving chase to Omninet. Omninet quick to his feet, and Beastmaster will be supported by Rubik there and giving cover for Anti-Mage. And at the bottom, we're watching Battle of Gandalf versus the Witch, or the Death Prophet. Noya signaling for a probable gank there. They would pop the smoke, and they'll be hunting now. Here, a 2-on-2 matchup, and they'll be calling out Troll Warlord, but then Omniate gets caught. Omniate for the kill. There's the stun, the shout, and the axe, and the final hit by Noya. Even with the ultimate here, the Mana Void, it wasn't enough to kill Omni Knight. It was still Noya who just delivered the final blow. Entity Gaming just showing resilience in this match, and they're not about to allow TNC Tigers to bare its teeth once again to their nightmare. They just want to shut down and shut up the Tigers earlier, even if their heroes are not suited for that. But they're doing such a good job in giving that clash a run for their money. And there's a mid lane gank. There's the... Okay, Exorcism has been popped out, and they're giving chase to Omni Knight. Omni Knight frantically running for his life. It's a 4-2-1 gank, and it's about to go down. Joe Beezy just decaying the bejesus out of Omni Knight, and he goes down for the count. 23 seconds at that, and right now they get a tower. Huge shout out now to Alet Berones, Jasper Salva. Is it Jasper? Yeah, Jasper Salva and Henry J. Hello to you too, sir. And yeah, we are broadcasting live here in Davao City, Philippines. This is Ncgc Esports, and I am your caster, Sensei, formerly known as Kamikaze Sensei. So right now I'm just Sensei. The name wouldn't fit the name tag anyway. So yeah, I'm Sensei, and I'm your caster and analyst for this qualifier round for the Southeast Asian 2018 Dota 2 tournament. Now we just saw Joe Beezy just stunned, and that epicenter, that overkill, just wiping Joe Beezy off the face of the planet. And now TNC Tigers are just showing their teeth once again, wanting to bare their teeth and just reminding Entity Gaming that it was just that led them to win over Entity Gaming on the second game. A little comeback for that, but then not much effect for the whole game. Omni Knight just debating them, and we're hoping that, well, I'm hoping that there will be a clash anytime soon. It's just so fun to watch ganks there, smoke, and then bam, bamboozled. You just got your air kicked out of you. So there's the signal. Zephyr just waiting for the setup, and we'll see what happens next. Nobody's checking up on him. Everyone's minding their own business, and yeah, Zephyr just decides to go back to the fray. So 3-man defense here on the mid lane, and there's a smoke, and there's a detour going for that unsuspecting Meepo. Unless he teleports out, it will be mincemeat out of Meepo, but then he's about to go out. Too bad for the gank team, they will get nothing. They come up empty-handed, and there's Meepo, but then Meepo has been called out. He's called out, but then there you go, he's been caught. Death Prophet just knocking him senseless. Meepo was able to get out of it, but then he got too cocky and just too complacent. He went back for the shrine, and he just died courtesy of the Prophet. So Prophet just providing cover for them to run away, and it's going to be a push of the Entity Gaming down the mid lane. As here Gandalf would just be
Radiant's bottom tower is under
would be
attack.
flanking for the creeps and providing support for the tower. Someone's signaling Roshan right now. It's time to kill Roshan, but Roshan is still too huge and upright for them. Most probably they would have to contend with that. Beastmaster has been stunned. Then there's the epicenter. Not enough to kill Beastmaster. There's the shout. Beastmaster just has that. Guardian has been called out. Omni Knight is invincible, but then Sand King has been hit and he goes down. Exorcism has been popped out. Down you go, Omni Knight. There's no place for holiness in this city. And Black just wants his name known there. Here I am. But then, yeah, he stole that Prophet's kill. Anyway, back to business. It's a 14-7 and an Aegis for Meepo, and we'll see what could be done with that. It's 14-7 with 6k advantage on net worth for the TNC Tigers. Again, this is like second game. TNC Tigers is down with kills. Entity Gaming is up with kills, but then the net worth is going in TNC Tigers' way, and we might see another thing go that way, and TNC might be able to pull this one off as soon as Meepo as well as Troll Warlord is able to buff up their heroes then. Otherwise, it would be Entity Gaming's game. So yeah, there you have it. So two-man up front there on the middle front, and they push back the creeps. There's a three-man wave there, and we'll see if the other team, Entity Gaming, would be calling for that. Meepo just standing by with one pushing up the top tower, as well as Entity Gaming providing a counter push and down the middle, down the bottom lane. But then there's the push up the middle lane, and it will be a three-man assault on the second tier tower. As for the bottom lane, it's a full swing by 4 of them, and they'll be defending the upper ground of the middle lane. And things about to get dirty as soon as they're able to set up. Ping Vincheck calling for the call there. Teleport in by Undying, but then too late. There's an initiation by Beastmaster. There's a shout. There's the epicenter by Rubik. I thought it was Sand King, but then yeah, no dice, no one's dead, and they're just gonna back out for now. It's a failed clash there. I hope it was a clash. Nobody's dead, and I'm sad. Because if nobody dies, I have no hype to do. Anyway, for those of you who have just watched here, this is Sensei doing a cast on Ncgc Esports, and you could comment and give a shout out and just have your way and presence felt. Just tune in to our Twitch channel. It's www.twitch.tv/NCGC Esports, as well as our FB page. It's fb.com/NCGC Esports. So there you have it. Comment as you please, but make it snappy and happy. So here it's still 714, but then the net worth is still continuing to go up for TNC Tigers. Oh, there you go. You just saw Meepo just slashing away Black, and Black just evaporated from the map. Meepo just continuing to be a problem here during ganks. All those damage outputs, it's just too much for even the late game hero of Entity Gaming, and it might spell doom for Entity Gaming if this continues to happen. They have to finish this before 25 minutes, but then right now it's slowing down. Their momentum is slowing down, and good for them, Entity Gaming has not yet recovered from this onslaught. They're wanting to finish this quick, and we just missed a gank here. And right now we're seeing action here live. There's Meepo with a double kill. Undying just running away from this one. Exorcism has been popped out. Guardian is a counter there, but then who cares? There's Meepo in the house, yo, and he runs away, covered and stunned by Beastmaster, and he goes down. And there's a stolen Guardian, and Rubik just having an identity crisis. He just became Omni Knight all of a sudden and called up Guardian to their effect. Amazing. 2 epicenters, 2 Guardians. We have just witnessed some of the best plays so far in this series. Okay, right now, let's go to the item check. So Meepo here is well itemed up, and we're seeing others in the middle game. As for Black, he was able to get some Battle Fury already. As for the supports, yeah, we'll not delve into that much. Sand King being the utility there. Oh, we missed that one. We apologize for that miss out. There's a push down the bottom lane, and TNC Tigers is just going for the money. And there you go, Death Prophet still on the cooldown, not having exorcism, still fresh from that, and they're pushed back. Undying relentlessly trying to hold back Tears of Death. Anti-Mage stunned. Rubik is also going to die in a few seconds from now, but then Meepo has been killed, as well as Rubik. He goes down courtesy of Black. He was just magicked out. Death Prophet just dancing left and right, not able to do anything with a push by a 4-man team of TNC TNC Tigers, and they just called for the glyph. And right now, Death Prophet just trolling the troll, and they will be backing out, but not without getting 1 barracks there. And for the defense, the other barracks just barely hanging on to their life. There's a shout. Omniate has been caught. Still on the down. Okay, Guardian did not make much out of it. There's the epicenter, and Death Prophet, and as well as Black goes down. And they're unstoppable right now. Death Prophet having a buyback, and they'll be backing off. It's a good push on the bottom lane, and they will be getting that tower as well as the 2 barracks there. TNC Tigers just stomping their way into the bottom lane, making their presence felt, countered by an epicenter, well-placed epicenter by Sand King. They're just waiting for Meepo practically before they continue with their attack. And right now, things are not going according to Entity Gaming's way. It is already the middle game. We are just entering the middle game. And still, TNC Tigers are able to dominate the first few parts of this matchup between Entity Gaming and TNC Tigers. Practically, if they're not able to recover from this, it will be disaster for them. The mid-game to end-game heroes will not happen that way. Exorcism has been popped out by a stun by Sand King, but then Black will be killing K, as well as Noya being killed by Koto, and In Your Dream went in his dreams, courtesy of the Exorcism. And now Beastmaster has been caught, and but then he was able to get out of it. So it's a 3-1 exchange in favor of Entity Gaming. They have to do this again and again, maybe a couple or 3 more times, and most probably they might be able to regain a strategic advantage for the mid game and thwarting the momentum that is TNC Tigers right now. So again, for those of you who just tuned in, this is already the 3rd game. This is the decision game between TNC Tigers versus Entity Gaming, and whoever wins this will have a matchup against TNC Pro Gaming in the lower bracket. And whoever wins that will have the 2nd slot for the top 16 in the TI 2018. And there, Rubik stole his kill, and we'll be seeing what's in store later on during the clash. And Primal Roar is online, but Exorcism is still not there, just backing down, just waiting for the cooldown for that advantage. As for TNC Tigers, they're just waiting for Meepo, the damage dealer, to be back online, and they'll be pushing most probably while things are still on cooldown with Entity Gaming. So there's the smoke coming from Kotl, and they'll be hunting down whoever gets the short end of the stick, and it's gonna be Rubik, and he will be able to jump out in time, not being caught by a net. Close call for that one, and Troll Warlord will just have to be contented for this shrine. Easy kill on the shrine for TNC Tigers. And there's a counter smoke by Entity Gaming. Here's the diabolical plan. Will it work, or will they get shortchanged and it will be April Fools for them? And far from April, and still they'll be calling out Sand King, but no. Sand King will just be backing down and just allowing the others to get the Aegis of Immortal. It has been called out. There's a stun, and there's the Exorcism has been popped out. And there's the fray, the chaos ensuing. Troll Warlord will get done for. Also Beastmaster and Death Prophet just providing cover and damage, and the tank. And also there's Undying going to die. There's the Epicenter, and they're chasing down the stragglers. Death Prophet finally losing steam, as it is a 4-1 rather 4-0 exchange. Excuse me, my throat got too excited for there. And now it's a push by TNC Pro, and they will not allow this to push beyond 30 minutes. They will have to end this right now. Buyback is non-existent for them, except for Anti-Mage, and they'll be contented in pushing this. They'll be going for the Mega Creeps. They'll be cashing in all of their chips right now. TNC Tigers wanting so desperate to have this game, to be able to face off their main contingent, TNC Pro, and it will be like that. GG is expected to happen anytime soon. There's the stun. Nobody cares right now, what happens. It's a GG, and everyone's getting wrecked. Everyone's getting slaughtered. It's a slaughterhouse here in Dota. And there's a GG, and it's done. It's done. My casting is also done, and it's time to rest. But not without saying a shout out to all our viewers out there. Yeah, wherever you are. Hi, hello, this is Sensei. This is Ncgc Sports, and we are broadcasting live here from Davao City, Philippines. I got too excited. I almost just clicked something that would have just been disastrous. Anyway, so what happened is, again, TNC Tigers flashing their teeth, the same recipe as of Game 2. They have to end it quick. They knew the Entity Gaming had late game heroes, and they just had to shut them out real good. And they did it with such finesse. Well, of course, most probably a little bit bumpy on the early games. They just got whacked out of their lives, but then they allowed their their hitters to farm up good, and they just pushed on the middle. Entity Gaming was not able to recover from that dominance by TNC Tigers, and TNC Tigers eventually had to win just before the late game would be starting. Otherwise, it would be too bad for them. So there you have it, folks. TNC Tigers winning this best of 3 on a third game matchup decision match against Entity Gaming. And they will be facing off in a few minutes TNC Pro, who for the second slot, or TNC Predator for the second slot of who would be included in the TI 2018 Top 16 later on. So there you have it, folks. A huge shout out for all those who are in attendance, and to the rest of the world. Go back to your gaming for now. Just stand by, just click on watch, and just wait until the next match starts. And also a shout out to Jovan Plaza Pexon, Kuya Sensi. Okay, yeah, thank you for calling me Kuya. That's a big deal for me. And also for Robert Amoto. And yeah, I'm still waiting for the next Yeah, it's Reggie De La Cruz. Hi and hello to you guys. Don't leave yet. Stay tuned. Just stand by for you. Click like and share and follow us on our Ncgc Esports page so that you will get notified as soon as we are live as we cover the International 2018 matches. Again, this is Sensei. Before I sign out, I just want to thank every one of you guys who are supporting us here. Again, like and share. Click that follow button. Don't forget to mash that up. And we'll see you later on. Yeah, I'm so hyped up. So anyway, it must be the coffee. So anyway, stay tuned. I'll be back. A few reminders. Bye.